Welcome, everyone. This is Character Fight Night Recharged.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the CFN Arena for another exciting night of CFN Recharged, the show where your favorite fictional characters battle head-to-head in stipulation-style combat. Was that the opening theme?
To Seinfeld? Yeah. It sounded like the Seinfeld. No, it was Carson.
In my head, it was air horns.
It sounded like Seinfeld. Like,
It's like, welcome to the CFN Arena. The crowd's very excited.
I'm waiting for Kramer to be like, Jerry!
My name is Josh, and joining me at the desk, as always, is Jim
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back as always.
and Carson.
What's up, everybody? Not glad to be back. As
what a
never.
Oh, he got me. He got me again. Just like the damn Beetle fact from the last episode.
You are full of it. You are so excited to be back.
Yeah. Excited to be back and sharing more bug facts.
Tonight we have one of our own stipulations that we made up. That Jim,
Which all of them did.
yeah, we kind of collectively came up with it.
did.
It is a theme park match, and unfortunately, they're not going to be fighting in a theme park, which would be really exciting. Instead,
Or they do, or
wait.
they do it and it's like at Knott's Berry Farm.
just a random theme park.
Oh no, Six Flags. Sorry, they're fighting at Six Flags.
Six Flags New Orleans that is closed and abandoned.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Harry Potter gets absolutely blasted by the Matterhorn.
That's a Disney ride.
Yeah, because one of them is Disney. I was
He's
just
still-
Oh, because I thought you were
Disney.
like, I thought you were on
He completely dismissed your Knott's Berry Farm.
I've never
I
been
know.
to Knott's Berry Farm.
Well, no, yeah. I changed it to Six Flags.
So, Jim, why don't you run us
Yeah.
by this theme park stipulation we came up with?
Yeah, so it's not happening at Six Flags. That was a joke that I threw in. But no, the theme park match, unlike our Planet for Planet match, is the loser has to suffer through the opponent's theme park. So, for example, if Mickey loses, he has to go through Universal Studios and have fun. It's forced fun here, everybody. And if
You will have fun.
if Harry Potter loses,
You're getting sorted into a house,
Yeah.
buddy.
and if Harry Potter loses, he gets to go to the world's happiest place, Disneyland. Or Disney World, whichever one's
Yeah.
closer.
Man, that's a tough
But
burden.
all they can do
Yeah.
is wait in lines.
They don't get the
As soon as
fast
they get
pass.
to the, as soon as they get to the
oh
front,
my god, that's the real.
the ride is closed.
Yeah, they don't get fast pass access
Wow.
or whatever.
Can you imagine a hell worse than that?
Just waiting in line? There was a.
It's like, doesn't Fast Pass, like, isn't it just the line to wait in line to
Pretty
get a Fast
much,
Pass
yeah.
to wait in the
Well,
Fast
I
Pass
think
line?
Disneyland is you get a ticket for a time, so you come back at that time and you
okay.
get through. You get a cross out, so you're essentially getting what is an imaginary line by a timestamp.
Yeah. Okay.
You're waiting
Fair.
in line by going on other rides. That you also picked up a ticket.
That's
time
not a
ticket
bad
for.
way to wait in line, though.
No, but you just
pay
go
a
around the park getting
subscription,
tickets first.
and then a driver will bring the line to your house.
Yeah. A subscription service. Everything's a subscription
Do you have to wait
service.
in line for the Fast Pass ticket?
Probably. I mean, I would imagine there's so many people that go.
It's an app.
Yeah.
Everything's apps.
Yeah, that is true.
There's an app for that.
We're very excited for this fight. We got two of the company's most famous IPs, intellectual properties,
Currently, yeah.
and excited
Well,
to see them duke it out in a way. So to do that, we got to weigh our competitors in, give you a little info about them. And to do that, let's send it down to our brand new announcer, John. John, stage is all yours.
Welcome everyone to the weigh-in for tonight's matchup. Stepping up to the scale, Mickey Mouse. Mickey weighs in at 23 pounds, standing 2 feet 3 inches tall.
So starting off, we have Mickey Mouse. the one and only. But some fun facts about Mickey. He actually wasn't always called Mickey. His original name was Mortimer Mouse. Which I'm really glad that they decided to change that.
He'd be Morty Mouse.
Morty Mouse.
Oh man,
Mick
Is he
and
related
Morty.
to Mighty Mouse?
imagine going to Disneyland and kids just everywhere running like, look, mom, it's Mortimer Mouse.
Mortimer Mouse.
What are we in the
They
20s?
never would have made it that far if he
Yeah, I
hadn't
know.
changed the name.
Absolutely not.
Originally, it was Oswald the Rabbit.
I remember that because actually,
first character.
Oswald the Rabbit was an IP from a different company that was later picked up by Disney.
Oh, yeah?
I'm pretty sure Oswald the Rabbit was actually a different IP.
So Oswald the Rabbit was Walt Disney's like first design character, and I think ironically Disney and Universal used to work like in tandem, which is kind of a weird thing to think about because they're so at each other's throats nowadays. But
No.
Mortimer Mouse was the original Mickey. However, Walt's wife Lillian did not like the name and convinced him to change it to Mickey, which smart decision.
Yeah. she knows what's up. She has the foresight.
He is the ripe old age of 95 years young, created in 1928. Some of us were babies back then.
Not even a twinkle in my dad's eye. I don't think my dad was even a twinkle in his dad's eye at that point. Yeah,
You don't remember the old depression?
right? Oh boy.
Of the depression
Just
now.
the new depression, yeah.
Oh, man.
Constant and weighing.
I'm like laughing but crying at the same time. Mickey first appeared in 2 silent films, which were not picked up by distributors in 1928. And then his first sound film, when they started incorporating sound into films, was Steamboat Willie. Probably one of his most famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Disney thing now, right? Like the opening credits
Yes.
for like the
Yeah.
Disney movies
It's
and stuff.
Steamboat
Yeah,
Willie,
Steamboat
yeah.
Willie.
He's driving that thing all over the river. Like he's
Oh, yeah,
cranking
just-
that wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's like, ah!
Stay in your lane.
Just like-
Below decks are it's just
They're on around everywhere.
sloppy.
That's why he's the only one on that raft. He's keeping everybody else off. His first words, I fully appreciate this and stand by it. His first words in 1929 were hot dogs.
Oh, it's like,
I love me some food, especially hot dogs.
So going back to, sorry, I was kind of spending some time trying to look up. In 2006, the Walt Disney Company made a deal with NBC Universal to get the IP back for Oswald the Rabbit.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was
that
saying, like-
include permitting sportscaster Al Michaels to contract with NBC in exchange for the return of Oswald
And that's what I was
to
saying.
Disney.
Like Disney and Universal used to be like working together.
Yeah.
And now they're
So, but that's
Predates
why that's
monopolies.
so yeah. There's kind of an interesting fact. So like I don't remember where I learned that, but I was like, huh, like you said,
it is interesting.
Oswald the Rabbit. I was like, wait a minute, I know that one.
I don't know why I didn't know this, but Walt Disney actually did the voice for Mickey for
Really?
years.
What?
Up until 1946 when Jimmy McDonald took over. Jimmy McDonald was the voice of Mickey until
That's probably later.
he retired. I think he retired in like the 70s or 80s.
Oh yeah, different Mickey then. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, if you watch like the old Mickey cartoons, that was Jimmy McDonald.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And he appears in over 130 films throughout the years and 120 of his own cartoon episodes. So he's got quite the repertoire. Not as much as Mario, who appeared in like 230. I just listened to part of that episode today. And it's like 230 video
Yeah,
games or
dude,
something
it
like
was
that.
absurd. Like I think this is I mean, but he's one of the original characters. Like I think even predating like Bugs Bunny and stuff like that too, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Very short in stature, but he makes up in all kinds of stuff. And I also wanted to mention, I forgot to mention this. We're not
specifically-
talking about Mickey. We're talking about Sorcerer Mickey, right? Which is, it's Mickey, but it's a different Mickey. Different iteration.
Excuse me.
Fantasia
Mm-hmm.
Mickey, if you will. But he's he's going to be quite the opponent for Mr. Potter to overcome
Every time, dude.
every time.
Every time.
Please, Mr. Potter was my father.
Carson's like, I'm so tired of doing it. Stop
Just,
making
like,
me make
crying
that
every
joke.
time.
That was just a joke about him being an orphan.
Oh, we did not. Oh. I was excited. Yeah, he's.
Jeez. So we'll get into some of his strengths and
Please call me Harry. My father was Mr. Dudley. Or Mr. Dursley, sorry.
It's his uncle, dude.
You want to run that back?
Yeah. No.
Doesn't even make
Moving
sense.
on.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So Mickey, he's obviously the flagship character of Disney. He's probably the most well-known, one of the most well-known characters in all of media.
Yeah.
Animated media.
Instantly recognizable. You see 3 circles and you're like, that kind of looks like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
One thing that I learned, I'm not going to say this is a strength or a weakness, it's an ability, and I don't think it's
Okay.
going to play into the fight, so I feel comfortable talking about it here. Very strange. He's able to take the ears off of someone and then put them on as his own ears if he loses his ears.
What?
I just thought that was such a bizarre fact.
That's like old European like folk horror. Like if the children aren't good,
Yeah.
the mouse will come and steal your ears.
Are you saying that Mickey Mouse is a toad? Like, cause he can just take off like his like.
Probably.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. It was just kind of a fun thing. I was like, I'm never going to use this in the fight, so let me just throw it out.
Well, you don't know that.
It's definitely gonna come up now.
Yeah.
If that's the deciding factor of this fight, I swear to God. It's like, well, I was
You're
going to
gonna
go.
what, Josh? Quit?
I was like, I was going to go Harry Potter, but you threw in the
Yeah.
ears thing.
Oh my God, the ears did it
I
for
can't
me.
get it out of my head.
Mickey can help you with that.
Horror.
So now you know Mickey Mouse, if you didn't already. Just some fun facts about him. So we're going to send it back down to the weigh station so John can weigh in our next competitor, Mr. Potter.
Now, stepping up to the scale, Harry Potter! Harry Potter weighs in at 117 pounds, standing 5 feet, 5 inches tall.
So yeah, Harry Potter is the boy who lived.
Boy, who lives?
He's the 42-year-old boy wizard, Harry Potter.
Yes, I put 42 years old technically.
He was born in
Canonically.
1980, so I mean,
Not
that makes sense.
canonically, it would be like,
yeah,
because it was like Harry, what are
Literally.
you doing here? Like, you're in school, like you're 42.
Well, the books take place in like the 90s, right? He was
Yeah.
born in the 80s. He was born in 1980.
So canonically, he's of age to be in.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 42-year-old boy wizard with male pattern baldness he's the main protagonist of course, the Harry Potter series, which spans 7 books and 8 movies because they did that half and half thing on the end.
Weren't they the first ones to do that? Or did they? Because it was like right around the same time as like Twilight. who
I'm just
kinda
glad they
something
didn't do
similar.
like the Attack on Titan thing where they're like, book 1, part 1.
Yeah.
Oh god.
The next
yeah.
6 parts are coming soon.
In 6 months. Yeah, I mean, just he's kind of iconic in just imagery and stuff. Like you associate him with the castle Hogwarts and using a wand to fight.
I will say he's got that badass lightning scar on his head.
Yeah, that's true. Given to him by his parents' murderer, Voldemort.
Dude, I'm
can't say
like,
his name.
I'm all over the place too because I thought you were like given to him by his parents. Like he's just cool.
I was
his
waiting for that too. Yeah, I was like, let me wait for him to finish that sentence.
Yeah,
before-
right. His cool lightning tattoo.
Yeah.
Yes,
Friends
I said
of
tattoo on
friends
You're not
of,
supposed to say his name.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. He knows
Yeah.
we're recording this podcast now.
Tom Riddle.
Tom Marvolo Riddle.
Which
We had a thing where we did we did Voldemort. We did Voldemort in a fight.
we were so confused. And
And
we were
we're
like,
like,
how do you get
Tom
Voldemort
Riddle
for
doesn't. It's like an anagram for Voldemort. It's like there's no V. You
We were
can't do.
so confused. We like could not figure it out.
We
And
looked it
finally
up. We're
was
like, oh,
it's
yeah.
not Marvel.
And then it's not even an anagram for Lord Voldemort. It's I am Lord
Yeah.
Voldemort.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
You guys are really reaching here, huh?
yeah. Well,
so yeah, a series of books came out. I think J.K. Rowling, who is
very controversial.
not a great figure. I think she was the first author to become a billionaire off of like literary works because it was such a huge success.
I remember like when I was a kid. Unfortunately, I wasn't into the Harry Potter books like all of my peers were. But I remember going to like Barnes and Noble, and there were like crowds
Everywhere,
of people.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fun little
wild.
sweet fact. My mom used to read me Harry Potter when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, we'd lay there at night and she would read me Harry Potter and stuff as a kid.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Avada
Happy Mother's
Kedavra! Good night, Jim.
Yeah.
And then,
I was just laying there crying.
and
If you don't go to sleep, Voldemort will come in, give you a cool
That's
lightning
the
storm.
steal your
More?
ears.
Yeah.
We'll steer you. And
Well, like,
nose?
he- yeah, I was
He needs a
like,
nose.
yeah, he needs a
He
nose
needs the
more
nose,
than
yeah.
anything.
Successful book series spawned a very successful film franchise, launching the careers of a bunch of
All of them.
child actors, but also incorporating a lot of just legendary British actors into it as well. Well, they are legendary.
Yeah, I
They
know.
are legendary.
You can't argue that Michael Gambon isn't a legend.
The
Robbie
first
Coltrane?
book, Robbie Coltrane. The first book was first published June 26, 1997. So kind of a nice little
Yeah.
Making us feel old.
good year for books.
Good year for books. We didn't know it.
Name one other book.
All right, you got me
I
there.
feel bad for that book.
To be fair, though, I was 3.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel bad for the other book that came out June 26, 27.
So salty.
Yeah.
Like, damn it.
Yeah.
Jerry Plotter.
The scary movie version of it, Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, I think one thing I want to mention is that, yes, they spawned a very successful series. They also did wonders for Universal. Like you go to Universal theme park,
Yeah.
which Mickey might have to visit if he loses his fight.
Yeah.
You have Harry Potter World, which is its own
Like Harry
its
Potter
own
has
world
become
inside of
such
Universal, right?
a pop culture icon. Like
It's become people's entire personality.
which is probably the most unfortunate part of it. Sometimes I think like sometimes when people like
funny enough called Potterhead.
Potterhead, yeah. But no, like I mean, dude, Legos, like it's like you can get some hella intense Legos, like for
Let's be real here. Who hasn't sat there and like Googled like what house you would be in, or like done the quiz?
Let's say
I
it all
have.
at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Hufflepuff.
Slytherin.
Yes, you
At the
slither
same
right
time.
out of here.
Classic
Oh my god,
Slytherin.
you're
Like,
such a Slytherin.
Jesus, yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know you were a Hufflepuff. That's
Yeah.
cool. Like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
both Hufflepuffs. That's
I'm very
interesting.
non-confrontational.
Absolutely. Yeah.
calm down, Badgers.
Hey, Badger kill a snake. Tell you that.
We don't give a shit.
It's a badger, not a honey badger.
You
Different
don't, you don't
names.
know
It's
that.
different, right? Our listeners like same thing, idiot. I knew that. Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna get into strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, he has the wand, but
The one.
The
the wand.
yeah.
It's pretty
The
interesting.
wand who lived.
The wand.
Yeah, I mean, as far as magic systems go, it's a pretty straightforward one of just say spell,
Loose?
spell
Yeah, the
happens.
loose magic system.
Another like anime thing where you're just yelling out the spell that you're casting. Fire blast.
There's actually
But yeah,
interesting enough. There's
like,
actually
no Latin.
doing the Harry Potter like quizzes and stuff, like when I did them, like I actually learned quite a bit because there's actually a lot that goes into the wand. Like it's not just picking up a stick and like using it.
Yeah,
There's
it's like,
the
it's got, like
wand
dragon.
chooses the wizard.
yeah, but it's like exactly. There's like
Dragon scales and-
dragon scales, unicorn hair. There's different
Yeah.
types of wood, different weights, different lengths. Like, are you a short wand user? Are you a long wand user? And I think that's why Ron struggled so much because his wand was not the right wand for him. And a
Yeah.
lot of those.
He's also a Weasley.
Yeah, but you know, that's besides the point. They're awesome.
Not as cool as a badger.
Yeah, right.
My last thought is the poor guy who ran the wand store. Like Harry just shows up and starts destroying his store.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, that's not the right wand.
You gotta be ready for that.
Yeah.
Right. It's like welcoming a bunch of 11-year-olds into your gun store. You're like, this is a terrible idea.
Dude, it's
Go ahead and fire that off. See if
Clicking
it
it
fits.
now.
see if this is the right fit.
Oh man.
I don't know why I didn't expect that. That's wild. Poor guy. Dead now.
Another legendary British actor, John Hurt.
Yeah. May he rest in
R.I.P.
peace. Got real solemn there.
R.I.P. in peace.
The Elephant Man.
You know Harry Potter now? So
You probably had never heard of him before.
it's like, oh, that Harry Potter.
I feel like every fact that we just gave only makes sense if you already know Harry Potter. Otherwise,
A lot of the jokes we made are
I
for a
mean-
very specific like audience. Sometimes very specific as an us.
he's a young child who learns he's a wizard and goes to school to hone his wizard skills while at the same time being hunted by like this killer.
Yeah,
He's
classic
pretty much-
storytelling.
classic chosen one
Yeah.
setup, right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Like
There's the Harry Potter
I
films.
never,
You don't
I
have to
never
watch
put
it.
this as like the foreshadowing too, and like him being like the chosen one, and the fact that like the titular characters are all put in Gryffindor, who's like their icon is like a griffin, which is the only one that's a mythical creature out of the four houses. Because it's
I'm
like,
gonna have to check you live here. It's a lion.
is it a lion? I
Yeah.
thought it was like a griffin because like Gryffindor, but.
That's the guy's name, but the house
That's
sigil is a
right.
lion.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's actually, it's been a little bit since I've been like
Classic
that deep of lore.
Hufflepuff.
I know, right?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't
But
know.
no, it was just
What
like
am I,
because
a
it looked like.
Ravenclaw?
All right, I'll take that one. I really bungled that one up.
So before this gets any more awkward.
It's just so dumb to just be like, actually.
No, but that was perfect because that's what I needed because I really screwed that one up. So that's not my fault.
Godric Gryffindor.
Yes, you're right. That's right. It's all coming back to me now. It's been a little bit since I've done.
Which is funny though, because like you would think if you're using your logic, Ravenclaw is a raven.
Hufflepuff
It's an
is-
eagle.
What?
Ravenclaw's an eagle.
Is it
dude.
really?
Yeah, it's an eagle.
That one I actually
Get
like.
out of here. God, I'm not as big a Potterhead as I thought. I am.
That's okay. Apparently, neither am I. So.
Yeah, that's I'm ashamed. Everybody's like, I'm turning this shit off. They don't let
I can
them
give
talk
I
at
can
all.
give you guys my Audible login, and you guys can study up a little bit.
All right, so so Slytherin's obviously a snake or a basilisk or something.
It's a snake.
It's a snake.
It's a snake.
Because then that would
Slytherin
like go-
I don't know what species of snake.
Yeah, come on. Well, actually,
and then Hufflepuff is a badger. So okay,
Yeah.
we got them all covered. Let's go to our commercial break while we brush up on our Harry Potter knowledge.
Just furious paper flipping sounds.
I hate this. I should have known this. We will be right back after a word from tonight's very real sponsor.
Looking for boarding school options for your soon-to-be witch or wizard? Look no further. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry has everything to cater to your little magician's needs. With sporadic events changing yearly, your child will never be bored. There's Tri-Wizard tournaments with 4 participants, airborne rugby-style soccer, and the ever-looming attempt of Dark Wizard invasions. Look for a brochure owl for more details.
Welcome back from that commercial break. We are now ready to get into tonight's event. And to do that, we have to introduce our fighters. So let's send it down to the ring where John is standing by.
Introducing first, from Fantasia in the Disney Universe, he is the apprentice to Yin Sid, determined, magical, and a little bit clumsy. Sorcerer Mickey! And his opponent, from Godric's Hollow in the Harry Potter universe, he is the Tri-Wizard Champion and the Chosen One, the boy who lived, Harry Potter!
So round one, we have Mickey the Mouse.
Mickey the Sorcerer Mouse.
Mickey the Sorcerer Mouse. So
From Redwall.
obviously, he's a mouse. He has mouse-like reflexes, sort of.
Mouse-like reflexes.
He's like an, what is it, anthropomorphic
Yes.
mouse?
Yeah.
But he has a sorcerer's hat,
Yeah.
which adds a lot to
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
It's sort of the source of his magic, isn't it?
Yes, which
the sorcerer of his magic.
I'm going to ignore that, which is
We
kind
can
of,
cut that. We can cut that. Wait.
Which-
The sorcerer of his magic.
Come on.
We can leave that one.
let's do it. Well, yes, he has the sorcerer's hat, but that's also kind of one of his weaknesses because if he loses the hat, he loses the powers. So
Yeah.
Which, as an avid hat wearer, I know how easy it is to lose your hat.
One time I stuck my head out a car window. Never saw that hat again.
Yeah, dude.
imagine being in a physical brawl with someone trying to keep your hat on.
Yeah.
Wait, dude, no headshots, dude.
So
Stop.
I feel like we're gonna see like the British Guard like chin strap
he's gonna
thing
do a chin strap.
to keep it on. But some of his abilities, he can bring objects to life, which is kind of interesting. I don't know that that'll necessarily come into play here necessarily.
Is there like a janitor closet in the arena?
There are, well, we're not doing a ring anymore. I was going to say, when we had the ring, there were objects under the ring. But, I mean,
But someone's got to clean up all the blood.
there could be things. There could be a chance that he could make Harry Potter's wand like come to life or something.
Dancing
Just
around
dancing,
Harry. He's
yeah.
like, stop.
Shooting crap all over the place. He can control fire and water. So if there's any water or fire in the arena, he can control that. He can also levitate things, which is interesting. He can, basically his own Wingardium Leviosa.
It's Leviosa.
I knew it was coming.
I have a
Leviosa.
point about so if I remember the Fantasia cartoon correctly, one of the problems is that not only does he bring the broom to life, but it also starts like replicating itself over and over and over again. So really he can make like a lot out of, if he only had like one thing to bring to life or to, use in combat, he could start like replicating it and have, potentially like a lot more. I don't know.
Yes. However, his big drawback with the magic is that he has trouble controlling the stuff. So like the brooms get out of control.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something that he's going to have to.
But chaos is something you can use to your advantage.
It is. It is. But Mr. Potter is used to chaos. Maybe.
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 I don't know. That Hogwarts, man, very chaotic.
He can control the stars and comets.
Oh,
And
geez, that's huge.
I put comets in all caps because
Comets!
you just
Yeah.
bring a comet down from the sky.
That's it. It's game over.
Yeah, I mean, you
For
lose
Mickey
you
because
died,
he
yeah.
kills his opponent, which that would be a DQ.
And then obviously Mickey Mouse as a character has cartoon physics and abilities and stuff like that.
I think that's going to be the biggest drawback here for Harry is like he's subject to real physics because he's a person, like versus Mickey is not.
Yeah, if he falls, he doesn't just splat, he does splat. He doesn't just get back up.
Yeah, his head doesn't reform when he hits his head on the hard ground.
If he loses his ears, they're gone.
Yeah.
He can't replace
That's
them.
not just like a ha ha ha. That's a ow, my ears. Like that hurt.
Oh my god, my ears!
Oh my god.
Some of the drawbacks that I found for Mickey is that, like we were talking about Carson, he has trouble controlling his magic. So I really think that he's going to need to hone his skills in. He's going to really need to focus on what he uses his magic on. Not only because he can't control his magic, but because the magic can run out. He does not have an infinite supply of magic.
Interesting. Okay.
So he needs to be very picky about what he uses his magic on. Contrary to having cartoon physics and abilities, he can be knocked out, which I thought was kind of interesting because most of the cartoon characters, you're like, womp womp. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, he's got like the birdies dancing around his head or whatever.
Yeah.
One giant lump.
And then I think the biggest drawback is that he's ticklish.
Which I know Harry's gonna just go for.
It's going to be a
There's
weird
got to be a
fight,
charm
but
for that.
That was Harry's
Right.
biggest thing against Voldemort in the movies. Is
Being
like
ticklish?
he learned that like Voldemort was ticklish, and he just,
Yeah.
he just went and started tickling Voldemort.
Man, that was the wrong movie.
Oh, oops.
But what do you guys think about Mickey? Like, what do you think he brings to this fight, as far as like the stuff that I mentioned? And
I mean, I think he's got a lot of like raw potential magic power, right? Where it seems like it's not like refined or
be
necessarily
overwhelming.
skill based. It's just like it just comes out of him on like huge levels. Where it's not so much like Harry Potter is very much a student who's learning how to like do spells, whereas Mickey he's also an apprentice, but the wizard's kind of absent from that whole story.
I just think it's like on the levels of overwhelming.
Yeah.
The amount of like power and stuff that's going to be coming out at, but
But no control.
like no control
like as a bonus
and such
for Mickey.
Yeah. Like it's just an overwhelming force that like Harry may not be able to deal with unless he like calls upon like somebody to part the sea as he's like coming by and like, stuff like that. But anyways, but to his detriment is it's limited too. So if he overuses it, he could be just left completely empty handed.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that a big difference between the two of them is that Mickey kind of controls magic as a whole, like you said, like kind of an overwhelming amount. Harry and the Potter universe is like a straight, like a projectile.
Well, not even that necessarily, but it's also a pinpointed like
have to
location where
aim
it's like
the wand
correct. Yeah,
at
you're
the-
aiming a wand and choosing where you're pinpointing it versus Mickey is like, good luck, and he just throws like a big
Here's a
wave at
wave,
him. Like,
yeah.
Harry knows what he's going to do magically, and he's going to try to use that. But Mickey more is just like, let's see what happens.
He's just like a grab bag.
Let's see.
like getting mad at like the stuffer, like quit dancing around and go attack him. And
like,
they're like, no, we're having too
in
much fun.
in D and D, that'd be
brooms and
like
stuff,
a wild magic sorcerer, right? Where it's
Oh
like,
yeah. Mickey, roll on the wild magic table for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You produce stink cloud. That's for all you D&D nerds out there.
Any major drawbacks you guys see for Mickey?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, just like the uncontrolled and the fact that it can run out is huge because he could be absolutely left empty-handed.
and he's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Well, I don't think the bell guy liked what you were saying.
He's just a little guy.
The bell guy's also just a little guy.
He's just a little guy. Like,
All right, we got beef.
join us for our next episode where the bell guy takes on Carson.
I would love to see you guys have like
Yeah.
a pointed list of my strengths and weaknesses.
Let's go over Carson's background. Born in Colorado.
Yeah, this is awkward. I gotta get your height and weight.
I'll never tell.
You're born to what's your mom and dad name?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and interview him. What are your strengths
Yeah,
and
now-
weaknesses?
You're just standing on like a suspicious like square, and you're like, Carson, come over here,
Yeah.
give me a hug.
And tell me about you as a kid. Don't worry about, and there's
what's
just like a mic hanging down too. It's
What's
like,
your history? I need about
Yeah.
5 minutes of content.
I was born in a log cabin.
Yeah, we just start making stuff up for Carson. Carson's like,
So that's gonna do it for round one. Mickey Mouse. Up next, we have Harry Potter. We're gonna do a dive into him and find out what he's got cooking. Welcome to round two, where we go over Harry Potter's strengths and weaknesses and see what he's bringing to the table. Carson, you got some info?
Yeah, well, he's a student of magic at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and while attending, he's definitely learned a lot. He's got a a pretty good repertoire of
For someone who
spells that he
doesn't
can
go
use.
to class, really.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And when he does, he just messes things
Who
up.
just who just like spends his times in the dungeons and
What's I was going to bring this up kind of in weaknesses, but we might as well talk about it now because it came up organically. No.
Let's start.
But he's not a great student. I mean, of his friend group, he's like second best. Like, if this was like Mickey Mouse versus Hermione, I think it would be like Hermione, no doubt. But because it's against Harry, it's a little bit.
luck.
Yeah, he's his main attribute, like a lot of anime protagonists, is bravery. He is.
I mean,
brave.
Being the main character is
Yeah.
what his like
He's-
biggest
yeah.
strength is.
Yeah.
He's self-taught. He goes to school to be self-taught.
Yeah, exactly. He's self-taught by all his teachers.
Mostly by Dumbledore, who just kind of like, well, good luck.
Yeah, and Dumbledore's not teaching him that much.
Let me tangent real quick. I have something to say about
What, a
this.
tangent on this episode?
Yeah, right.
They're like, the first time they get in there, they're like, the Forbidden Forest is off limits. Nobody must ever go there.
We're gonna send you to the Forbidden Forest.
Exactly. They're like, your punishment is
And
you
like
got to go to the Forbidden
the
Forest.
It's Always Sunny title card pops up, like, the gang goes to the Forbidden Forest.
That's like the cold open is I'm telling him don't go to the Forbidden Forest, and then that's the title card.
That should have been like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Forest.
Yeah, you guys.
It's
you guys
Always
went down to
Sunny
the
at
dungeon.
Hogwarts.
Well, Gryffindor wins. You guys did amazing, even though we told you not to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
That's always been a big issue with like the Harry Potter universe. It was just like there's been no punishment for like them just clearly doing what they should not be doing.
The punishment was going to the Forbidden Forest. So
That's
they
right.
broke
Even though-
rules.
yeah.
They broke rules and they're like, guess what? Go to that place we
Yeah.
told you not to go. You might die.
but that is a risk that I'm willing to take.
it's the tension.
It wouldn't be a punishment if there wasn't risk of death.
Yeah, you turn around, it's like Lord Farquaad up at the thing.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to a single strength yet.
We're just tearing apart Harry
I
Potter.
was like, I might cut that whole thing. I just wanted to bring that up.
Welcome
but-
to our
I think it's
anti-Harry Potter
good.
podcast.
I think it's all good content. So spells that he knows. There's Accio, which is
Accio?
like
Akio.
we each have a different way that we pronounce it.
Dude, such Hufflepuffs. Oh my god. Like, I don't want to brag about this, but I play like the Harry Potter like Candy Crush game. And they call it
I
Akio.
definitely wouldn't brag about that.
Josh, that's not a brag.
I was like, I don't want to. I'm not bragging about it.
I don't
I'm
mean
like,
to toot my own
wanna-
horn, but I
no,
play
was
the
like,
Harry
I really
Potter
don't want to
Candy
bring it up.
Yeah.
But
You
anyway,
made
go
a
on.
point to bring it up, though.
We
I
can't.
wanted you to know where I got Akio from.
Okay. That's your source material?
It's the summoning spell. You can cause objects to come to you. Funny
I
enough,
actually didn't know that it was the oldest spell known in the wizard. I didn't know that.
Well, now you do.
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, you see, even
Yeah.
though I'm like, I grew up with Harry Potter, I'm still learning like that.
Yeah.
Gryffindor is.
did you learn that in Candy
mascot's a
Crush?
lion. Oh boy, it's getting real late, boys.
We can't do two in a night anymore. Harry's best spell is one that I don't think even really applies to this fight. Like his most impressive spell that he's learned is the Expecto Patronum, the Patronus, which is mostly just used against the specific creature
Dementors,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna be great. You can use it for other reasons, like they use it to like send messages
Yeah.
or signals or whatever. But as far as combat goes, it really only affects Dementors because it's just positive energy manifested into like a spell.
And like a like light, right?
Yeah, and like you can take the shape of an animal.
So I mean, you could use it to like blind Mickey
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah, 'cause I
or
mean, we
create
did
like a
see-
sexy mouse, distract him.
It's a
Minnie's gonna
sexy
be
mouse
pissed.
jutsu. It's a hit sexy mouse jutsu.
Minnie. I was like, Minnie's watching. She's like, "What the hell?"
That shouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
His other go-to is Expelliarmus,
Which I think
is
Hugh is going to be really
yeah.
big in this case because, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be like something that's going to be able to be used directly on somebody like Mickey in this case. And, you know, if maybe by luck he gets the hat.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's something we can talk about a little bit when we come
Depending-
to like the actual fight.
depending on which scene in which movie you're watching, it either disarms your opponent or completely blasts you into a wall.
That is true. Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, oh, I've got your wand now, and sometimes like, oh my god, you broke
it's-
3 ribs.
It's disarming them from the ground. Like,
He's like, his arms just fall off. Like it's disarming.
yeah, it says it right in the spell there. I don't know what you guys are confused about.
He can also use like Obliviate, which wipes memories. He has a Stupefy, which is like the stunning spell. You can use that
I
to like,
forgot about some of these ones.
yeah, you
Was
can.
Stupefy the one he used on Toad Boy?
Boy,
What's his name? No.
Neville, no.
Okay.
that's not what I was thinking of either.
Hermione uses Petrificus Totalis, which is like a paralyzing
Okay.
spell.
Man, you do know your Potter.
I know.
Dude. Yeah. But Stupefy becomes pretty much like his kind of bread and butter when he's fighting Death Eaters in the later installments. Because he's obviously not trying to kill, but it's like an easy way to just be like, Stupefy, Stupefy, Stupefy. Like just throw in stunners all over the place. He can use shields. He has an invisibility cloak, so he can like disappear. I don't know if
Which
that's
I
like,
don't think that one's gonna be like huge because it's not something he's gonna have on him. I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, we didn't even really
I
talk
think
about
the-
his weaknesses.
I think the bell guy hates you.
I know.
It's such a long list.
We're definitely gonna have to go into
That's
some
okay.
of
No,
his weaknesses
we'll
and
definitely
stuff.
touch on it during the fight. But that gives you a good idea of like what, you know, some of the stuff that Harry's bringing into the fight. So we've heard what Mickey and Harry Potter are bringing to the table. Now let's throw them in the arena and see who comes out on top. So I think one thing that we didn't get to touch on with Harry Potter, like Jim said, Harry Potter wears glasses.
I didn't know that that's where you're gonna start.
So I know that sounds like a weird place to
and Mickey
start.
wears a hat. Yeah.
That's a weird place to start, but it was when I was doing my research, that was a big weakness. If he loses his glasses, he cannot see. His eyesight is so
Yeah.
bad.
My glasses.
Yeah, my glasses.
Granted, he has Oculus Reparo.
Yeah, but usually Hermione has to do that for him. That's what I'm saying. It's like he relies so much on specifically
He
Hermione.
absolutely does. Yeah.
She's-
I think some of
and
the biggest stuff here. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, in like if this first book didn't come out in '97 and instead came out now, there's like an argument for making Hermione the protagonist just because
She's so
like,
much more adept.
She's just better at everything.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting story seeing her go from like Muggle to wizard, like wizard.
Legend. Yeah. She gets to be the one with the after credits. Like the main. I mean, she was in it, but with
Yeah.
Ron. Which did we not all ship Harry and Hermione as a kid?
Do we know what?
Did we
Worship?
not all ship them too?
Ship?
You've seen them? You've never heard of the word ship? Like when you ship two characters?
No.
It means you want them to end up together.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you want them to have a relationship. I
It's
think
also
is
called
the-
like slash fiction too, where it's just like
Yeah.
Hermione slash Harry. Like it's like, hey, anyways, but yes, did we not
the
all
answer
do
is
that as
no.
like
the
you
answer is
didn't,
no.
you didn't want that? Okay, well,
So
I guess
I mean, it is.
Clearly.
Yeah. It is weird that she ended up with Ron, but we won't go into that.
yeah,
That's
not what.
And I think it's weird that Mickey ended up with Minnie, if I'm being honest.
I something I really
I just
want
don't think
to
they have chemistry.
Daisy Duck at the
is
least.
I bringing this back. I definitely want to talk about the fact that one we do have the like common sense in here, so that's something we're gonna have to touch on too. But is he overly emotional
Yeah.
as well too? And I think that's gonna be a lot bigger here than I think we're gonna like let it play out as like versus like Mickey, who is not necessarily gonna be. He's gonna be a little bit more targeted and like wanting to like really take out his target, not in a way of like killing, but like, you know, he's going to be a little bit more methodical about how he goes about it.
Let's be honest. People that are overly happy scare me. Mickey is overly happy, so if he gets mad,
Have you seen him in Fantasia though? He's like going nuts, isn't he? Like
he is, but he's not angry. Like I would
Yeah.
hate to see an angry Mickey. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be terrifying.
It's a
Woohoo.
book series that I like. Is this even worth saying? Where, like,
Well, you brought it up.
it's called Name of the Wind. It's the King Killer Chronicles, and they say in that like a wise man fears three things, which is a night with no moon, the storm at sea, and the anger of a gentle man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very
I'm just saying, like, if Harry gets some licks in or something and really, we've said it before in other fights, really sets Mickey off. That's a
It could
scary
be
thing to
game
deal.
over,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a scary thing to handle.
I
And,
think-
and Harry's a kid. I know we say he's 42, but we're doing like the
He's-
pinnacle of his power is like
He's a
like,
middle-aged boy wizard.
he's like a senior in.
But I mean, like, also to be fair though, look at some of the stuff that Harry's fought before. Like we talked about Caliber of Enemies in like previous episodes because it's a pretty common theme around here.
because you love
Is I do is like one of Harry's biggest strengths is like being a protagonist and main character. He has to have little or no fear, which means he took on the ogre in the first movie with
Yeah.
no like regard for his life really. Like he wanted to make sure that he got to take care of it. I mean, to the point where he was like physically involved with the ogre. Like jamming his wand up his nose and stuff like that.
it. He put his own life in danger.
Correct.
Just to save
On
his friends.
multiple occasions, which, so he's overly emotional, but he's also incredibly stupid by just like rushing in the battle
Yeah.
sometimes, like on this stuff. But
Let
like,
me ask you though.
that's not the actual point I was making, but that's kind
Harry
of a funny way to
doesn't really have anybody to save in this fight.
himself, yeah.
I think that's going to affect his outlook. He is so driven by saving other people and protecting the people that he loves that he has no regard for himself. And I'm not saying he's just going to give up. He's like, oh, it's just
No,
me.
but
Like,
his other biggest downfall here is he has no one else to rely on
that too, yeah.
either. Because, like,
It's
again,
just him.
historically, you said Carson, even Ron,
Yeah.
to an extent, like,
I mean, it's a pretty bad day when you're like, Ron saved me.
yeah, which he did in the chess scene in the first movie.
That is true.
Yeah.
I think both characters
yeah.
have a bit of an intelligence issue. Like neither of them are particularly smart, but I think Mickey is kind of dumb in a cartoony way where he's like, "Oh no, everything I can't control the power." But Harry Potter is dumb in like a very real way where it's like, Harry, do you not understand the consequences of your actions?
Clearly not, because it took you 7 books to like.
So I want to turn the table from angry Mickey to angry Harry Potter. Because
Which is also an equally dangerous thing, I feel like.
we've seen angry Harry Potter with like his cousin.
Yeah,
He can do magic without his wand.
correct.
Which is-
it takes a certain level of like emotion, and that's what we talked
It
about the
does.
overload. Like, he disappeared the wall, or he.
Who else to go overly emotional than Harry Potter?
I mean, he disappeared the glass for at the zoo, which was a result of his emotion. So I can only imagine how somebody who is become as learned as he is, like through the few classes he's taken at school, is able to kind of channel that emotion into something like an incredible Patronus, because that's why his Patronus was so vast and like mighty, and because there was so much emotion into that.
So we're talking about, specific examples. He disappeared the glass. He dropped the cake on the boss's head. No, that was Dobby.
That was
Sorry.
Dobby.
Yeah.
But he did blow up the ant.
Oh, Dobby would have been a good matchup against Mickey.
Well,
Give him a sock and he goes away.
Let's start over. No.
He did blow up his ant into like a balloon.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that was something that he got
We don't
angry.
expel people
we
for
need to-
blowing
yeah, I
up
was like-
their ants.
we need to specify and blew up his ant into a balloon, not
Yeah.
just blew up his ant.
Which is arguably more horrifying to
Oh, dude,
watch
yeah.
yourself inflate and then float into the sky, like
And then,
obliviate me
Not knowing-
after
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
do you think that Mickey has any weaknesses that Harry could exploit?
I think mostly it just like Harry has like a more technical and firm grasp on magic use, right?
I agree.
So like in like we talked about how it's just I think this kind of comes down to control, right, versus power. Harry Potter has control, Mickey has power, what's more important, I feel like control might be a great strength for Harry in this fight and like a weakness for Mickey.
I completely agree with that. I also think that, again, kind of the caliber of enemy deal, which is like Harry's used to dealing with, because he lives in a world of magic.
Yeah.
You know, he uses magic and he takes classes on these, and he like his whole world is now centered around the use of magic, versus like Mickey is not necessarily. He's used magic in other ways to like save people, not necessarily like other
To make
like
children's dreams come true.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's like, you know, he doesn't use it in the same way. Like, it's not targeted towards somebody. It's like, I'm saving a town from like a cataclysmic event, or, you know, it's that level of stuff. It's not like designed and used in a way that's like designed to like target a specific person or fight a specific person. So I think experience here is going to be really huge.
I'm surprised I didn't bring that up, because that was like the first thing I thought of when we got into the fight. Is Mickey has like 50 extra years of experience.
But not with like using magic in a fight setting.
That
though.
is true. Yeah.
That's more what I'm talking about. It's like Harry is used to training his magic in a world where other magic users
he
are
has,
also
like,
using
honed
magic.
skills and
Correct,
everything,
exactly. And it's
yeah.
like that pinpoint with the wand, where he has the ability, like Carson was saying, to like point his wand in a direction and be like Expelliarmus, and like
Come
you
up
know
with
go
a
right
plan,
at Mickey versus
execute
like
it.
Mickey's like, water, go, like, you know, and like that's, he just like,
Yeah.
good luck, and from there like the water does what it will. So
But you also talked about the fact that that is just an overwhelming attack for Harry Potter. Like, if you see a giant tidal wave come out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and
yeah, but I mean, I'm
It's
sure
gonna-
there's like spells and like that can like help kind of like
Yeah.
create like a little wall to like, you know, or like you talked about shielding magic. He uses a lot of shielding magic, where it's like, I'm sure Harry's got experience and tactful enough to like be able to use
I
a
wouldn't
shield
be
magic.
surprised if
against him.
like Expelliarmus or something, because it's like that explosive spell.
Yeah.
Correct.
Would like explode a hole in the wave or something.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
give him
Exactly
space.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. That's kind of exactly what I was thinking.
I
So,
almost feel like it's less like Harry Potter facing another wizard and more like Harry Potter facing like the basilisk or the Whomping Willow, or just something incredibly powerful
fighting
and
nature more than
magical
he is.
And chaotic.
and chaotic, but
Right.
it's not like a, you know, they're taught specifically to duel, and I don't think that like dueling necessarily comes into play. He's gonna have to think of a way to like circumvent the kind of chaos that's coming from Mickey to, I think basically he'll go for the hat, right? If he can.
that's if you can figure
Yeah.
out that's where the source of magic is, because you have
Right.
to think that this is like what he's dealing with. This is a different type of magic
Yeah.
than what he usually is. Where like usually their source of magic is the wand. So
Right.
Harry's probably more trained to go for a wand, but
Right.
he's probably not going to recognize that Mickey's source of magic is from a hat.
Yeah, but if he
Because
can
the only source of magic that comes from a hat in the Harry Potter world is a sorting hat.
Well, so I mean, that plays directly into Harry Potter's common sense. He's not going to have the common sense to realize
Correct.
that the hat is magical.
Correct.
no.
You know,
But-
it took his teammates to figure out the tactical stuff for him.
Right, yeah,
and he's
exactly,
like, I'm just
yeah.
going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've seen Harry do more than just fight people. We've seen him overcome huge obstacles, like the troll, like the basilisk, like the willow, like, you know, just might get knocked around, might not be a pretty thing, but I think that he is skilled in both person-to-person combat and just dealing with
Nature.
shit.
Like, yeah. That's here he's more fighting like nature than it really is, and like you were talking like the chaoticness of it. But it's just, yeah, I think Mickey's got a large hill to climb, especially with his limited use of magic.
Yeah.
Where if he reaches that point, Harry kind of has as long as he's conscious, he always has. He's not pulling from a well of magic. It's just you have like it really is just being conscious and aware of what's going on and be able to like use the magic. So I think if Mickey gets to a point where he exerts himself too much, he may not be able to continually do that until he's able to kind of recover a little bit.
So on the other coin, before we wrap this up, do you see any weaknesses that Mickey could exploit against Harry?
Yeah, the wand
The wand
immediately
and the
wand.
glasses.
The wand, glasses. I think
The
he's very
glasses is
predictable.
collateral damage.
right? I mean, it doesn't take long to figure out what Harry's got in his bag, which is like 3 spells that he uses over and over and over
Well,
again.
it's not even just 3 spells that he uses over and over, but it's like really his repertoire of offensive spells is so low.
Yeah.
In terms of like what we actually see him use and stuff like that. And like, you know, you would think that like even in a fight versus Voldemort, he would at that point, that's where you would see him like pull some extra tricks out of a bag, which he doesn't do.
Yeah.
So it's like we can only assume that the few offensive spells that he has are the only offensive spells that he knows.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. In the book specifically, like the last spell he uses to defeat Voldemort is an Expelliarmus.
Yeah.
And it like ricochets off his killing curse and sends his killing curse back at him. So even in like
which
this
is not super clever.
this life or death moment with
He uses
homicidal like
a spell that he used in the first year of
and he's like, oh, get your wand. Like
It's like, what do these kids learn here? Dude,
Yeah.
they have like 5 spells that they learn, but they go to school for 7 years.
I think the
like,
other kids use other spells and they're just like, Harry, he really only knows like
Yeah. Turns out that Harry's been a first year for like the entire like book
He
series.
got
Yeah.
him back.
Yeah.
The kids are like, I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what are the chances that those? It's like shooting 2 bullets at each other.
So that's going to wrap up our fight for the night, which is going to lead us into Final Judgment. And you mind if I kick this off?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So it's kind of a tough decision, but I don't think it's as tough as like some of the other ones that we've had to make. And you guys are probably totally going to disagree with me, but I don't care. So
Seems to be that's the way that's going.
I think that one of Harry Potter's biggest weaknesses is his want to help other people. So I don't really see this happening. I don't know if this is a scenario that would happen if Mickey is smart enough to do this, but he has all of his Mickey friends. All he has to do is have somebody fake being in peril. And
Saying Mickey's gonna take a hostage.
not necessarily take a hostage, but even
Be
if,
like, Ron, get over there and act like you're in
but
trouble.
even if like Minnie just pretended to be caught in something or something, Harry Potter's want to help someone is going to distract him, I think, long enough to lose that match. Now, do I think that's a plausible scenario? Probably not.
So yeah, because that's like realistically something he can do after he like defeats his opponent is help, you know, because defeating his opponent would inherently help save the.
I mean,
Yeah.
he could. With that being said, I think that a barrage of stuff that Mickey's going to throw at him is going to be a lot for Harry, and I think Mickey's going to come out on top.
Oh, interesting. Okay, all right.
Jim?
Yeah, I was like, I'll take this one second since I went last time. I disagree with you. I think with Harry's, for lack of a better
Don't say
term,
intellect.
experience, and just his experience, his ability and to fight, like literally one-on-one with other magic users, as opposed to just like using forceful like magic and in such a way is I think this is going to be plus. I mean, for whatever it's worth, he did take on like the big bad himself. You know what I mean? He did have help, but eventually it was like something as simple as like the Expelliarmus like spell that like ended up kicking it off. But the fact that he was able to take on and win against this opponent like this, I think is huge, and I think that's going to lead him into like his experience into this battle, fighting against somebody like Mickey. I think he's gonna come out on top here.
Not to mention that he defeated the big bad after he sacrificed himself.
Correct.
Which was very noble. All right, Carson, you're in a tough spot.
I just refuse to talk.
He's like, I'm out. You'll never know.
I'm going Harry Potter also. I think that one of the things that's holding Mickey back is that his greatest strength is just the raw power. And if you could kill Harry Potter, then that'd be great. Just call it, calm it down, call it good. But since he has to use raw power with restraint, it kind of limits his options in a way that's like, you can throw stuff at Harry Potter to try to incapacitate him, but you can't kill him and Harry's also coming at you with like tons of non-lethal spells because that's all he knows and is good at. I just think if you could go to the death, and I think Mickey would have the raw power advantage, but in terms of just like the skillfulness to take out your opponent without killing them.
So just
give that to Harry.
say it for what it is. You think that Harry Potter is going to tickle Mickey into submission?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
We started getting like real serious. Yeah.
There's got to be a
pull it back.
tickling charm. We got to Google that real quick. There has to be like a.
Hold on.
I think a tickling charm is mentioned in the books at some point, which is like,
Tickling spell.
yeah,
Tickling spell.
yeah.
Rec. Oh God, you're gonna make me pronounce this.
Yeah,
I
do
think,
it.
I think you just point the wand and go.
Rick to Sempra.
Oh, Rick DeSempra?
Rick to Sempra.
I know him.
There it is.
Yeah.
The perpetual tickling charm.
That's interesting. Because there's another killing charm that's called like Sectum Sempra, and it opens up huge gashes in your opponent.
Jesus.
Oh, great. Jeez.
Those things should not be so similar.
Well, I will be on this hill again.
Again.
I'm fine
One
with that,
of these
yeah.
days, I'm going to agree with you.
But
today is-
is not that day. Yes.
All right, Jim.
That time, that wasn't me legitimately taking your joke. That was just me getting it out first.
Wait. But today is not that day.
God damn it, again, he did it.
Let's leave that joke in there.
Yeah.
So that's going to wrap up our episode for tonight. We want to hear what you have to think, though. So go ahead and head over to the CFN Fan Stand group on Facebook, where we will post a poll of the fight and a picture where you can start your own discussion or join ours and tell us your thoughts. But until next time, we will see you then. For Jim, Carson, Oakley, and myself, of course, this has been CFN Recharged. We'll see you next time. And remember, let your characters do the fighting for you. See ya.
Good night, guys.
Want more fights? Follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter @CharacterFight and Character Fight Night on Facebook. Use hashtag #FollowTheFight on all social media platforms. Want more action? Join the Character Fight Night Fan Stand Facebook group, where we post polls and have discussions on all fights.